Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring finding your calling,
Okay.
diving deep into Jeff Goins' book, The Art of Work.
Sounds good.
You'll hear about everyday people who, just stumbled upon their life's work in unexpected ways.
Yeah, you know what I really like about Goins' book is how he really avoids those kind of generic tips and tricks,
Yeah.
and he just brings the 7 stages of finding your calling to life through these really captivating real life stories.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah,
The first stage focuses on the power of mindset,
right.
and Goins introduces us to Garrett Rushmiller,
Okay.
diagnosed with a life-altering brain tumor at just 5 years old.
Wow.
It's a story that really makes you think about how we approach challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Garrett's story is it really illustrates how just shifting your mindset from limitations to possibilities can be so transformative.
Yeah.
His father, Eric, played a really crucial role by encouraging Garrett to focus on what he could do
Yeah,
rather than dwelling on what he couldn't.
right. And that shift in thinking led to some incredible achievements.
Yeah.
Completing a half Ironman, climbing Machu Picchu,
Oh,
even becoming an Eagle Scout.
that's amazing.
It makes you wonder, what could we accomplish if we adopted that same perspective?
It's about recognizing that challenges can actually be catalysts for growth.
Okay.
And, Goins emphasizes this goes beyond just like positive thinking.
Yeah.
It's about actively seeking out the potential within every situation. It's a
Mhm.
call to action for all of us.
Okay, so that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
But what about those aha moments, when your calling seems to find you?
Right.
So Goins tells the story of Jody Nolan,
Okay.
who discovered her path after witnessing the impact of a simple letter written by her dying friend.
This really highlights the idea that sometimes our calling isn't something we actively seek out.
Mhm.
It's something that just kind of emerges from these everyday experiences.
Yeah.
Jody's friend Larry, he wrote letters to each of his children before undergoing surgery for cancer.
Wow.
And he wanted to just leave them with words of love and affirmation,
Yeah,
just in case, he didn't make it.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the act of writing the letters that struck Jody,
Right.
but the profound impact it had on Larry's family.
Mm-hmm.
Made her realize the power of words
Yeah.
and how important it is to express love and appreciation while we still have the chance.
That's so true. And this brings us to a really crucial point.
Okay.
A calling isn't just about personal fulfillment.
Oh, right.
It's about making a meaningful contribution to the world.
Mm-hmm.
In Jody's case, this realization led her to start a letter writing workshop.
Interesting.
Yeah, helping others find solace and connection through written words.
Yeah, it makes you think about, the ripple effects of our actions.
It really does.
It does.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a second. The journey to finding your calling isn't always smooth sailing.
Right.
What about fear?
Oh, yeah.
Goins bravely shares his own experience of being paralyzed by fear at a dream conference.
I think a lot of us can relate to that.
I think so too.
Yeah. Goins makes this really brilliant distinction between the fear that paralyzes us
Right.
and the fear that actually propels us forward.
Yeah.
The fear that held him back at that conference, it really stemmed from worrying about what others would think,
Yeah.
about not having a perfectly defined dream to articulate.
Hmm.
It's that fear of judgment that can really just hold us back.
He realized, in his quest to find his dream,
Right.
he was ignoring the whispers of his own heart.
That's so true.
And it took a speaker's blunt words,
Yeah.
just afraid to admit it,
Wow.
to shatter his self-doubt and acknowledge his true calling as a writer.
That's a really powerful takeaway for all of us.
Yeah.
What dreams are we silencing just because of fear?
Mhm.
The real work begins with confronting those fears and choosing to move forward in spite of them.
It's easier said than done.
Oh, it is.
But how do we take that leap
Right.
from facing our fears to actually putting in the work?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the importance of practice.
Okay.
Goins introduces us to Stephanie Fisher,
Okay.
the aspiring singer who auditioned for American Idol 7 times
Wow.
and faced repeated rejection.
Oh, man.
Stephanie's story, it raises a thought-provoking question.
Okay.
Is success solely about effort, or is there something more at play?
Right.
So Goins contrasts Stephanie's experience with successful musicians,
Okay.
like Hillary Scott and Colby Kayat,
Okay.
who also faced initial rejection on American Idol.
Interesting.
It makes you wonder, what sets them apart.
Yeah.
Both Hillary and Colby went on to achieve incredible success
Right.
in the music industry.
So what was it?
Yeah, was it raw talent or something else entirely?
This is where Goins delves into the concept of painful practice, the kind of practice that pushes you beyond your comfort zone and forces you to confront your weaknesses. It's about embracing the struggle
Yeah.
and understanding that failure is an integral part of learning.
Right.
It's about pushing through those, those uncomfortable moments of growth.
He also brings in the work of psychologist Carol Dweck,
Oh, yeah.
who emphasizes the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset.
Right.
A growth mindset embraces challenges and views setbacks as opportunities, while a fixed mindset avoids challenges and sees setbacks as proof of limitations.
Yeah, think about Colby Tyatt's experience.
Okay.
She actually expressed gratitude for the rejection she received on American Idol.
Wow.
Yeah, it forced her to acknowledge her weaknesses and pushed her to elevate her skills.
Yeah.
It was a turning point that ultimately paved the way for her later success. It's about seeing rejection as redirection.
So it's not just about putting in the time, it's about the quality of that practice.
Yeah.
Deliberate, focused, and yes, even painful practice is the key differentiator.
I love that.
But what happens when you've done the work, faced your fears,
Right.
you're still struggling?
That's where accidental apprenticeships come into play.
Okay.
Let me introduce you to Martin Chamberlain,
Okay.
a web developer who completely transformed his life in just a few years.
Wow.
His journey showcases the power of learning through observation, exploration, and informal mentorship.
So Martin didn't start as a tech whiz.
No, he didn't.
In fact, he rarely used a computer
Okay.
until his brother William left for college,
Interesting.
leaving behind a book on web development
Okay.
that sparked a passion Martin didn't even know he had.
Wow.
It makes you wonder what hidden talents we're all carrying around.
It really does.
Right.
What's remarkable about Martin's journey is that his apprenticeship was totally unplanned.
Yeah.
He learned by doing,
Right.
by seeking out information, by just embracing every opportunity to expand his knowledge.
It's a testament to the power of self-directed learning.
It shows that learning doesn't have to be confined to a formal setting.
Right.
We can find mentors in unexpected places. Friends, family,
Yeah.
even books.
Absolutely.
There are learning opportunities everywhere.
Exactly. Martin's story also emphasizes the importance of curiosity
Yeah.
and a willingness to experiment.
Okay.
He didn't let his lack of experience hold him back.
Right.
He just dove in and learned along the way.
Yeah.
That mindset is crucial for anyone trying to uncover their calling.
It's about trusting the process and being open to those unexpected twists and turns.
Yeah.
Sometimes the path to your calling isn't linear.
Right.
It's a series of detours that lead you exactly where you need to be.
That's a good point.
But what happens when that path takes a sharp turn or even a complete U-turn?
That's where the power of pivoting comes into play.
Okay.
Goins shares the story of Matt McWilliams.
Who went from aspiring golf pro to successful online marketer.
Okay.
A journey that involved being fired by his own father and navigating a series of unexpected career shifts.
Talk about a plot twist.
Oh, yeah.
Matt's story is a great reminder that sometimes our initial dreams don't unfold as planned.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we failed. It means we need to adjust our course.
Exactly. Goins uses this fascinating example of Groupon's origins to illustrate this point.
Right.
What started as a struggling philanthropy platform pivoted to become a multi-billion-dollar e-commerce giant.
That's incredible. It really shows how setbacks can lead to unexpected breakthroughs if we're willing to adapt and be flexible.
Right.
Sometimes those roadblocks become opportunities.
Pivoting isn't about giving up on your dreams.
Oh, good.
It's about finding new and innovative ways to achieve them.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that the journey to your calling is rarely a straight line and being open to changing direction without losing sight of your ultimate goal.
So how do we know when it's time to pivot?
Right?
It can be tough to know when to stick with something and when to change course.
Well, Goins encourages us to pay attention to the signs, to the feedback we're receiving from the world around us.
Right.
It's about being aware of what's working and what's not.
And being honest with ourselves about our passions.
Right.
What we excel at.
Yeah.
How those skills and passions align with the needs of the world.
It's like finding that sweet spot.
Right.
Where your talents meet a genuine need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes pivoting involves letting go of an old dream
Yeah.
to make space for a new one.
It's about being open to the possibility that your calling might evolve over time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
It reminds me of that Thomas Edison quote.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
I love that.
But what about those of us who have multiple passions and interests?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to have more than one calling?
That's an excellent question, and one that Goins addresses head-on.
Okay.
He introduces the idea of a portfolio career,
Okay.
which embraces the concept that our work can be multifaceted,
Yeah.
incorporating paid work, unpaid work, and even play into a fulfilling life.
Mm.
He uses the work of Charles Handy, author of The Age of Unreason,
Okay.
to illustrate this.
This resonated with me.
Yeah.
Goins even shares a conversation he had with a successful musician friend
Okay.
who admitted that music was just one piece of his fulfilling life.
It really broadens the definition of what a fulfilling life can look like.
It does.
So Handy outlines 5 types of work that can make up our portfolio.
Okay.
Fee work,
Yeah.
salary work,
Uh-huh.
homework,
Okay.
study work,
Yeah.
and gift work.
Okay.
Fee work and salary work are the traditional forms of paid employment,
Right.
while homework, study work, and gift work encompass those unpaid activities that contribute to our well-being and sense of purpose.
Yeah.
It's a really helpful framework.
It is. This framework challenges the idea that our calling is limited to a single job.
Mm-hmm.
It can be so much broader than that.
Right.
It can encompass all the ways we contribute,
Yeah.
whether it's paid employment, volunteer work, creative pursuits, or even just being present for our loved ones.
It really challenges that traditional definition of success.
Right.
It shifts the focus from external validation
Right.
to creating a life that feels, meaningful and fulfilling on your own terms.
This brings up an interesting question.
Okay.
How do we define success on our own terms?
Right.
Goins introduces us to Jody Mayberry.
Okay.
He went from financial analyst to park ranger to, well, we don't want to spoil the surprise.
Right.
Jody's story is all about how success is a moving target,
Yeah.
not a fixed destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing process of growth, exploration, and adaptation.
Right.
It often involves making tough choices,
Mm-hmm.
facing unexpected challenges,
Yeah.
and reassessing your priorities along the way.
Jody's journey started with a near-death experience in Yellowstone National Park,
Wow.
which sparked a passion for the outdoors
Okay.
and eventually led him to become a park ranger.
Interesting.
But even that dream job had its challenges.
Right. It reminds us that even when we're on the right path,
Mm-hmm.
there will be bumps along the way.
He eventually had to make a difficult choice between his passion for parks and his family.
Whoa.
He chose his family,
Okay.
but that pull toward the outdoors never left him.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that sometimes life throws those curveballs.
It does.
His story shows that sometimes success means letting go of one dream
Mm-hmm.
to make room for something new, something that better aligns with your current needs and values.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
Have you had any experiences like that in your own life?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to.
I think so too.
The beauty of Jody's story is that his passion for parks didn't vanish when he left his ranger job.
Right.
It simply evolved.
He found new ways to connect with his calling,
Right.
eventually launching a podcast and consulting with park leaders.
Oh.
It shows that our callings can find expression in so many different ways.
It's a beautiful example of how our passions can continue to guide us even as our circumstances change.
Yeah.
It's about finding those creative and fulfilling ways to integrate our calling into every aspect of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a linear path, but it's always moving forward.
And it underscores the importance of being honest with yourself about your priorities.
Right.
There's no right or wrong way to balance work, family, and personal pursuits.
Exactly. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values and create a life that feels, authentic and fulfilling.
It's a powerful reminder that success isn't a one-size-fits-all concept.
Right.
It's about defining what matters most to you
Yeah.
and creating a life that reflects those values.
But it's not just about personal fulfillment, bro.
Right. Goins emphasizes that a calling should also have a positive impact on the world around us.
Absolutely. A true calling transcends self-interest.
Yeah.
It's about using your skills and talents to contribute to something larger than yourself.
Exactly. Goins takes us to Uganda,
Okay.
where we meet Sam,
Okay.
an inspiring farmer who perfectly embodies this principle.
Sam's story is a powerful reminder that generosity doesn't require wealth or status.
It really doesn't.
It's about making a difference with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Sam lived in a small shack
Right.
with limited resources,
Yeah.
he had a vision for a better future for his family and community.
Goins contrasts Sam's story with the poverty he witnessed in the slums of Kampala,
Yeah.
where there was this pervasive sense of hopelessness.
Right.
But in Sam's eyes, he saw hope,
Yeah.
a determination to create a better life, not just for himself, but for his children and his community.
And that's what sets him apart. It's not about the circumstances you're given, but the choices you make.
Exactly.
Sam's generosity wasn't limited to his family.
Mm-hmm.
He was also dedicated to building a business and creating opportunities for his community.
Right. It's about using what you have to lift up others.
His story is a challenge to us all,
Yeah.
to find ways to make our work generous,
Right.
to use our skills and talents, to contribute to something beyond our own self-interest.
It's about recognizing that our calling is interconnected with the well-being of others.
As we wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What's resonated with you most so far?
Yeah.
What stood out to you as we've explored these different facets of finding your calling?
I'd say, I think what's resonated most with me is this recurring theme of mindset.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Garrett's story,
Right.
Jody's journey,
Mm.
even in Martin's accidental apprenticeship. It seems that finding your calling is like intricately linked to how you perceive the world around you.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not just about what happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how we choose to interpret those experiences.
Right.
And that choice can make all the difference
Yeah.
in whether we embrace our calling or let it pass us by.
It's huge.
But let's not stop there.
Okay.
Goins doesn't just leave us with inspiring stories and thought-provoking questions.
Right.
He also offers this compelling framework
Okay.
for understanding the final stage of finding your calling,
Okay.
life as a magnum opus.
It's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it?
It is.
Goins uses it to describe the idea that our calling isn't a single achievement,
Right.
but like a lifelong process of growth,
Yeah.
contribution, and creative expression.
I love that imagery.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in this idea of success as a destination,
Mm-hmm.
reaching a certain point in our careers,
Right.
achieving a specific financial goal.
Right.
But Goins challenges us to think differently,
Yeah.
to see our entire lives as a work of art,
Mm-hmm.
a masterpiece that we're constantly shaping and refining.
It's a pretty radical shift in perspective.
It is.
Yeah. And I think it's a perspective that can be incredibly liberating.
Okay.
It takes the pressure off of having to have it all figured out right now.
Yeah.
And allows us to just embrace the journey, the imperfections, the detours, all of it.
Right.
It's about seeing the beauty in the process.
But how do we make that shift? How do we go from thinking linearly about success
Right.
to embracing this idea of life as an ongoing, evolving masterpiece?
That's a great question.
I think it's a question that a lot of people grapple with,
Yeah, I think so too. Well, Goins offers some really helpful insights
Okay.
through a scene from the movie Mr. Holland's Opus.
Okay.
Do you remember that story?
Yes.
Yeah, Glenn Holland is this passionate musician
Right.
with dreams of composing this grand symphony. Yeah.
That will make him famous.
Yes. But then his son is born deaf,
Right.
and he finds himself dedicating his life to providing for his family and teaching music to high school students. He feels like he's failed to live up to his true calling.
Exactly. But in this heartwarming twist,
Right.
Mr. Holland discovers that his true symphony wasn't the musical masterpiece he was striving to create. It was the impact he had on his students' lives,
Right.
the legacy of inspiration and passion he left behind.
It's such a powerful reminder that our calling often expresses itself
Yeah.
in ways we least expect.
That's true.
It's not always about those grand achievements or public recognition. Sometimes it's about those small, everyday acts of love, kindness, and service that ripple out and touch the lives of others.
And that's the essence of a magnum opus.
Right?
It's not about, creating something perfect or flawless. It's about embracing the messiness, the imperfections.
Those unexpected detours that make up a life well lived?
Right.
It's about showing up fully in every moment
Yeah.
and using our unique gifts to make a difference.
So how do we start to see our own lives through that lens?
Right.
I think it's easy to get bogged down in the daily grind and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Oh, absolutely. Goins Goins suggests we start by shifting our perspective on work.
Okay.
Instead of viewing it as a means to an end,
Yeah.
a way to earn a paycheck or climb the ladder,
Right.
what if we saw it as an opportunity to express our creativity,
Okay.
connect with others, and make a meaningful contribution?
That's a really powerful reframing.
Yeah, it takes the focus off external validation
Right.
and puts it back on the intrinsic value of the work itself.
Exactly. And this shift in perspective can profoundly impact
Yeah.
how we approach our daily lives.
Yeah.
Instead of going through the motions,
Right.
we start to see each task,
Yeah.
each interaction as a chance to create something beautiful, something meaningful.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about finding the artistry in the everyday.
But what about those times when life throws us a curveball?
Right.
When we face challenges or setbacks that threaten to derail our dreams? How do we reconcile those experiences with this idea of life as a magnum opus?
That's where resilience comes in.
Okay.
A magnum opus isn't this polished, flawless creation.
Right.
It's a testament to the artist's perseverance, their ability to overcome obstacles and just keep creating even when things get tough.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether,
Right.
but about learning to navigate them
Yeah.
in a way that allows us to keep moving forward.
Precisely. And it requires us to develop coping mechanisms for dealing with those inevitable challenges
All right.
that life throws our way. It's about learning to see setbacks
Yeah.
not as failures, but as opportunities for growth and transformation.
It's about finding the strength to pick ourselves up,
Right.
dust ourselves off, and keep creating.
But how do we know when to push through those challenges and when to pivot, to change direction altogether?
Goins suggests we pay attention to our inner compass, to
Right.
that intuition that tells us when something is working and when it's time to course correct.
It's about being honest with ourselves,
Right.
about our passions,
Yeah.
our strengths, and our limitations.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where our skills and interests align with the needs of the world,
Right.
where our work feels both meaningful and sustainable.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process of discernment,
Yeah,
and it's okay to feel uncertain at times.
right.
Remember, our calling might evolve as our priorities shift and our circumstances change.
Right.
What felt like a perfect fit 10 years ago might no longer be the right path today.
So it's about being open to those shifts, to embracing those unexpected turns that life takes us on.
Yeah, but it's not just about our individual journeys, is it? Goins also emphasizes the importance of community,
Yeah.
of finding people who support our dreams and challenge us to grow.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We don't create our magnum opuses in isolation.
No, we don't.
We need mentors,
Yeah.
collaborators, cheerleaders, and even constructive critics to help us along the way.
Absolutely. It's about building a network of support
Right.
that will sustain us through the ups and downs of the creative process.
Because let's face it, it's not always easy to stay motivated and inspired,
Right.
especially when we're working on something that's deeply personal and meaningful to us.
That's where having a supportive community can make all the difference.
Right.
It's about finding those people who believe in our vision, who can offer encouragement and guidance when we need it most.
Goins also highlights the importance of finding ways to give back,
Yeah.
to use our gifts to make a positive impact on the world around us.
It's about recognizing that our calling isn't just about personal fulfillment, but about contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Remember the story of Ed Cathy,
Oh, yeah.
the retired physical therapist, who discovered his calling as a chaplain at the Nashville Rescue Mission?
Right.
His story beautifully illustrates how our magnum opuses can continue to unfold,
Yeah.
even in the later stages of life.
It's never too late to find your calling,
Right.
to make a difference in the world.
Ed wasn't seeking fame or fortune.
Right.
He was simply drawn to serve those in need.
And in doing so, he found a sense of purpose and fulfillment that transcended his previous accomplishments.
His story is a powerful reminder that our calling isn't about achieving a certain level of success or recognition. It's about aligning our actions with our values.
Yeah.
And using our gifts to make a difference.
And that difference can be made in countless ways.
Right.
Through our work, our relationships, our creative pursuits, our acts of service.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
So as we wrap up this second part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'd love to hear your reflections. What's resonating with you?
Yeah.
What insights are you taking away from this exploration of life as a magnum opus?
Well, for me, it's this idea of a calling as like an ongoing evolution,
Yeah.
a process that unfolds throughout our lives. It's not about reaching a fixed destination,
Right.
but embracing the journey with all its
Yeah.
twists and turns and unexpected transformations.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It
Yeah.
really takes the pressure off finding that one perfect thing and encourages us to embrace that messy, beautiful process of becoming who we're meant to be. It reminds me of something Goins said earlier about our calling being revealed through the process of living,
Right.
through those unexpected experiences that shape us along the way.
Exactly. And as we lean into that process, as we become more attuned to our intuition and the feedback we receive from the world, our understanding of our calling becomes clearer.
It does.
We start to see how all the pieces of our lives fit together. Our passions, skills, and experiences.
To form a cohesive whole.
Exactly.
It's like assembling a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Right.
You only see the full picture of your calling when you step back and view the completed image.
What a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another key takeaway.
Okay.
The importance of trusting the process. We might not always know where we're headed or what the final picture will look like.
Yeah.
If we stay open to the journey, trust our gut, and keep taking those small steps, we'll eventually find our way.
It's about surrendering to the mystery of the unfolding. Even when it feels messy or uncertain, and remembering that setbacks, failures, and detours are not deviations from our path.
Right.
They're integral parts of the journey itself.
It's all part of it.
They shape us.
Yeah.
They teach us.
Right.
They refine our understanding of who we are and what we're meant to do.
So how do we cultivate that trust?
Right.
Especially when we're facing challenges or feeling lost.
Yeah, it's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going as planned.
It is.
Goins offers a few powerful practices. He encourages us to cultivate a daily practice of gratitude, to focus on the good things in our lives, even when it feels like everything is falling apart.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Gratitude has a way of shifting our perspective.
It does.
Helping us see the blessings even amidst the challenges.
He also recommends surrounding ourselves with supportive people, mentors, collaborators, and friends who believe in our dreams and encourage us to keep going, even when we doubt ourselves.
We've talked a lot about mentorship in this deep dive, and it really is invaluable.
It is.
Having someone who's walked a similar path, who can offer guidance and support, can make all the difference in the world.
Goins also reminds us that our calling is not just about us.
Right.
It's about, using our unique gifts to make a positive impact on the world.
We talked about Sam, the Ugandan farmer, whose dedication to building a better life for his family and his community was so inspiring.
And Jody Nolan,
right,
who found her calling in helping others express love and appreciation through letter writing.
Those stories really highlight the power of generosity, of finding ways to make our work a force for good in the world.
And it doesn't have to be these, grand gestures or heroic feats. It can be those small, everyday acts of kindness, compassion, and service that we offer to those around us.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected. And that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
So as we conclude this deep dive into the art of work, I want to leave our listeners with a 10-point summary of what we've learned.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's a great way to distill these powerful insights into actionable takeaways.
Okay, so here are 10 key takeaways from the art of work.
Okay.
First, a shift in mindset from limitations to possibilities can be transformative. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth.
Okay.
Second, our calling can be found in unexpected places and everyday experiences.
Right.
Pay attention to the whispers of your heart.
Okay.
Third, there's a difference between fear that paralyzes us and fear that propels us forward.
Right.
Confront your fears and choose to move forward.
Okay.
Fourth, deliberate, painful practice and a growth mindset are crucial for achieving excellence. Embrace the struggle and view setbacks as opportunities.
Okay.
Fifth, accidental apprenticeships offer powerful opportunities for organic learning. Be curious, experiment, and seek out mentors in unexpected places. Sixth, pivoting, changing direction without losing sight of the bigger goal can lead to breakthroughs.
Right.
Be flexible, adapt, and trust your intuition. Seventh, a portfolio career can blend paid work, unpaid work, and play for a fulfilling life.
Okay.
Define success on your own terms.
Okay.
Eighth, success is an ongoing journey with choices and adjustments.
Right.
Be honest about your priorities and make choices that align with your values.
Okay.
Ninth, a calling is about using your skills to contribute to something larger than yourself.
Yeah.
Make your work a force for good in the world. And 10th, life itself is a magnum opus, a lifelong process of growth and contribution.
Right.
Embrace the messiness, the imperfections, and the beauty of the journey.
Wow. What an incredible journey.
It is.
We've covered so much ground.
We have.
From the power of mindset to the beauty of life as a magnum opus. As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What if your calling isn't about finding that one perfect thing,
Right.
but about showing up fully in every moment and using your unique skills and passions
Yeah.
to make a difference in the world?
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.